All right, this is Neeson here with Big Gold Belt, and I'm here with
Chris Albert from National Geographic.
Jay Rinsky from Little Cinema.
Thanks so much for coming by the Hexadome.
Oh, no problem. I'll say we're here at the Hexadome. We just had an experience of it. It's really crazy, guys. You have to check it out wherever you're at. If can't make it to D23, please check it out. I have a couple of questions, though.
Yeah, fire away.
The first thing I have to ask, how many cameras were shooting at one time? Because you're playing things, if you guys explain this, one thing is playing here, behind you, here, each side, but simultaneously. So just explain the process of these different ventures that you go on and how they're actually shot.
So the Hexadome experience is really to build an immersive experience here at D23 where all the guests could step into the world of Nat Geo. Okay. And so it's 6 screens, so it's 6 projectors.
Yep.
But what went into making it was going through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of Nat Geo footage and spending the past 3 months pulling the best and putting it together.
So Nat Geo makes some of the most amazing cinematic content that you'll see around the world.
Yes.
Has been doing it for years. And they have all their cinematographers exploring the world, making great shows. They worked with us and gave us access to all those amazing, incredible videos they shot, which were shot for one screen. And then we went through hours and hours and hours of editing, creating layers and taking one image and collaging it together so it feels like you're inside those environments combined. All in, we've got over 500 audio layers to build the audio layers. We've got a few hundred different clips stitched together to create those environments. So then while National Geographic are bringing you some of the best footage to your television, here at D23, you can step inside it and be surrounded by those amazing landscapes.
Now, that was actually going to be my follow-up question with sound design, right? And because, as you said, you have these 6 different screens visually, but sonically, we're picking up on the same senses. What was the development like as far as the sensitivity and to be able to see, hear, also just feel the sounds and the sights of everything?
So I think one of the best examples to talk about this is there's a scene where there is an avalanche, and when the snow breaks, you hear the crackle. It's so loud, it like pierces through your heart.
Yes.
And that's sort of what we were going for as the incredible team that is based out of Germany did the sound design here, is we wanted to make it so you literally like felt it in your bones.
Right.
And I think, Jay mentioned there's, I think, more than 520 audio tracks that have been edited together. There are 52 speakers that are in the Hexadome. Okay. And the way the guys who did the sound design, they're genius. It moves your attention around the Hexadome. It makes you feel and experience what's happening on the different screens. One of the other scenes that is my favorite is when you switch to Chris Hemsworth surfing. Mm-hmm. And the sound of the ocean and feeling him on the waves. It's really a sensory experience that you get.
You're surrounded by speakers. So there's speakers above you, there's speakers all around, and each screen has its own dedicated speakers. So it allows us to just move your emotion around. Even when you're flying, to get that motion of flying, we can individually control the speakers that the wind swooshes, start in one ear and then on the other side. And it's a very high fidelity German-engineered sound system coming from the Institute of Sound and Music in Berlin. There's a giant audio research facility. National Geographic brought over 3 of their audio engineers to dial it in. Chris himself went to Germany and, heard the kind of crackle and said, make this louder, make me feel it. So it's and it's one of those things, I think, in general in sound where you often take for granted, but it really drives the emotion and vibrations that kind of go through the whole body that immerse you in the experience and make you feel like you're there.
No, it's a complete immersive experience with the sound, and that's why I really wanted to bring it up, because one thing could be playing, and then, like you said, you could hear the penguins maybe flying off the cliff, and that makes you turn, and then you're immersed into that, or you hear the zebra. I don't want to give too much away, but just that is...
Watching the lion chase the zebra.
Yeah, well, you said it.
When I'm watching it's my favorite thing to watch the other people who are watching.
That's exactly what I did.
People are so invested, and they're on the it's so cool.
I was gonna say, you've seen people lean in.
Yes,
and I think
that's the
to me,
phrase.
if you watch a film at a theater, and if you just look to your left, to your right, if you see people lean into something and then fall back into something, I feel like that's the hook.
And we've each seen this well over 100 times.
I was gonna ask
so
that.
what is amazing now is to be able to stand in there and watch our guests watch it.
Right.
And experience it, and that I've been loving doing that all day.
So you said you had tons of footage left out on the floor, right? So, I mean, we only had, 12 minutes or
12
minutes here. So what is a piece of footage that you really wanted to keep, but it just couldn't make the cut?
I don't know. I feel like this, we had many edits and we made changes, and our creative team had a lot of great suggestions, and we put things in, we took things out, we put things in, we took things out. I don't actually think anything got left in this experience on the cutting room floor. I think it turned out to be exactly what we wanted.
I don't know. Yeah, I was saying.
The underwater scene.
You had
where they all go underwater. Oh. It was in one of the earlier edits, but it was just, again, the National Geographic footage is so incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was, I'm not sure which show that was from, but it all goes underwater and all these lights start popping up, and in the process of trying to have the most optimal experience, you got to make some tough choices.
I do remember that shot. That is a great shot. But I actually, in the end, don't think it didn't fit with the story.
With the overall creative.
Yeah. And I think, look, D23, what you experience here is the best storytellers in the world, the best innovation, the most creative, technologically advanced way to tell stories, and we really wanted to embrace all those ethos. So we were putting this experience together so that it could be something for the D23 crowd to just, like I said, step into the world of Nat Geo in a way they didn't even imagine.
So that'll be my last question, actually. The D21 crowd that is used to grand storytelling and also just experiences on a grander scale, right? We're right next to the ILM building and setup. So what do you want somebody stepping in here, brand new, they may have watched Geo before on Disney Plus, but what do you want them to feel when they step out of your experience, this Hexadome?
I really want them to say, wow, I always loved Nat Geo, but now I've experienced Nat Geo. I think it's an experience. People always have such an affinity for the Nat Geo brand, but we want to take that affinity and turn it into passion. And I think this experience will really do that.
That's actually great.
For me, it's been beautiful watching the wonder that comes into people's eyes when they see the content and they see how beautiful the world is, and hopefully they come back home and turn on Nat Geo and go back to that place.
And I think one of my favorite things has been watching some of the kids that have come through here. And if we can inspire the next generation of explorers through an experience like this, I think we've done our job. And I think watching some of the kids' faces and their awe and the wonder has just made it all worthwhile.
I will say it did make me want to go see to a volcano. I've never thought let me go wild volcano rub. So let me go do that. Sitting in there was like, all right, that looks kind of fun.
The reality is not everybody can go to Antarctica to look at penguins or go to look at a volcano, but we can bring it to you through this Hexadome experience.
And we thank you for that. We appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you so much.
You.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And I said this off camera, but great frames, by the way.
Thank you.
Great frames. Thank you, guys.